again.
Back again with another episode of Yogs and Bogues podcast.
It's 3.
Number 3. I'm Scott.
Andrew.
I haven't addressed. People don't really call me Scott. No one calls me Scott. You might call me Scott.
Yeah, I don't know if we want to give full names just yet.
Well, I don't know. I don't want to give. Yeah, I don't want to give my last name, but a lot of people just call me Scofo.
I don't call you that.
Yeah, you don't call me that, but virtually almost everybody besides you, my wife, call me that.
Yeah, I mean that's your bro name.
That is. That's my bro name.
That's
we
like to call that a pronoun.
Yeah, that's right. You have a surname and a bro name, and that's my bro name.
100%.
Yeah. So, okay. I feel like we took a little time off, but we actually didn't.
This was actually the shortest layover so far. So, but it did feel like we could have gone a little bit quicker with this one. We just didn't.
Well,
but it's okay.
I'm glad to be back. I'm glad to be here. Yeah, we got. You got any good golf tales from recently or anything like that?
I mean, we played this weekend. A couple of buddies just down the road. I guess you could call it my home course. A little ruffled feathers action.
You're a member there.
Yeah, I mean, member.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what we didn't do? We didn't put golf bags behind us. Who cares? Whatever. But yeah, it was good. Basic. Have a couple of brewskis, play around. You're good.
I heard one of your boys quit though this weekend.
Yeah, I mean he played really well with me. I don't know what to tell you. I think it's just the infectious personality that I have on people. Keep them positive during a round, but he played the round just down the road on Sunday and said he couldn't get the ball off the ground. Playing baseball, hitting through the gaps of the infield.
I've been there. Hey, shout out, man! I think he should come back because isn't he scheduled for the Chili Open with you guys this weekend?
Yeah, Chili Open and a Halloween Scramble, back-to-back days.
What?
Looking forward to it.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that's, I mean, you played like that'll be like 4 or 5 rounds in October for you.
Yeah, that's like as many as you played all year, right?
That is approaching it. Yes, you might surpass me. Your October.
Once again, remind the people why you do a golf podcast if you don't play golf.
I really love golf. I really love the beauty of everything about it. I do want to play it. I do. I just don't want to play it badly once a month. Like I want to play it 3 times a week, so that I can slightly improve at it.
Yeah, I hear you. I think if I could get in on more of those rounds, I think it might be infectious for you to play more. But who knows? You got such a high demand list. It's like you got to knock off the first 4 or the first 3 people, and then you bump the next people up the list, and then it's again. And obviously family takes priority of there. Shout out to Dan Fox. Shout out to all the Fox siblings. And
you weren't giving names, but you gave it.
Yeah, I'm sorry. The only real one I know is Dan.
He is a real one.
Yes.
Yeah, people ask me to play golf routinely, and it's getting to the point where I've probably lost a couple golf friends because they got sick of being told no like all the time. And kudos to those guys. Respect to all of you out there for just keeping asking me, even when you know the answer. I really appreciate what you do for me. You're gassing me up, and I just can't be there for you. And
there was a day. There was a day. We'll just know that there was a day. That it was, as often as the sun rises, but, now we just can't get there. It's okay.
I'll be back.
It happens.
I'll be back.
Once the kids are in high school / college, there you go.
That's it. Just 20 years from now.
Yep.
I'll be back.
That's sad to think about. All right, let's hit our next constant here. What did you pick up for
it's
us?
yogurt time. So,
yeah.
Okay. So first of all, Andrew gave me some shit for this before we came on. What I got here is Chobani Flip strawberry cheesecake. And the reason I got this is because he loves to put stuff in his yogurt. Like he wants to put some granola or something in there. So I thought, you know what, even though it's back-to-back Chobani, I thought I would hook up my boy and give him a little something for him.
You know what's an underrated thing on, I feel like, yogurt and pudding? It's licking the wrapper.
I scrape it with the spoon. I don't lick.
Yeah, I think that's probably a little disgusting to watch on video. Sorry,
it's
everybody,
probably a little
but you know that's okay. That's okay.
So
we'll get over it.
for all of you out there, if you're not pros, this was designed so you can just do this like little tilt in. Okay. And it's so cool. Just so we know, so everybody out there knows, strawberry low-fat Greek yogurt with graham cookies, cream frosting chunks, and coated Rice Crisps.
It's gonna be another dessert yogurt, like that salted caramel one was.
It actually looks nice, though.
You know what we should have? Nice. We should get a graphic in the back here that has like our previous ratings, and like have something slide in. Obviously, we're not that technologically advanced, but
or like kind of a all-timers leaderboard. Maybe after we get to like 15 or 20, we can have kind of an all-time champion, the challenge belt holder, or something like that.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm gonna need a second bite here, but just watch out, those crunchies, and they're gonna get you.
The little frosting pieces are nice.
What I'll say is, if we did something like you've already talked about retiring the yogurt anyway, so I don't know if we could do a leaderboard if you're gonna already retire it after the third episode.
Maybe the fans can weigh in. Should the yogurt continue, or do we just move on? And it's a pointless shtick.
Yeah. All right.
I don't know. Maybe it's cool. Maybe the feedback will tell us, keep it up. I enjoy
this was a lot more toned down than I thought it was going to be. Thought it would be like exactly what it says, like a strawberry cheesecake. That seems like it's going to have a sugar content of 56 sugars per serving.
It might.
No, I don't think it does.
I like it.
I don't think it does. I kind of like it too.
I like it. 17 grams, 26% daily value. So I'm guessing that's
okay.
Like a fair amount of sugar.
I already had my share of Halloween Oreos today, so sugars.
I kind of like it. I'm gonna come in right here and say,
your favorite so far?
Yeah, probably my favorite so far.
Okay.
I'm gonna go 7-1 on this bad boy here. I like it. I would eat that again.
I'm 6-1. 6-1.
That again.
I think it's not as favored as the pumpkin spice. Better than the. I think it was better than something. Whatever. But 6-1, 7-1.
You don't have to remember all of them.
Yeah, no, I know.
It's not needed.
I'm trying to elephant brain it, but Chobani Flips, I've been interested in them for a while. I don't think I've ever gotten one, but definitely would venture into the flips again. Just because that's a nice consistency it makes. This is a first flip.
First flip?
First flip.
Oh my goodness.
It's the first time for everything.
Oh, this is this is like an all-in-one situation for you.
You popped a flip cherry today.
Popped a strawberry. Oh yeah, this should be like your go-to in somewhere.
I know, but they're probably more expensive than your regular.
Three for $5, which isn't. That's not bad. No, that's not bad. That's not bad. Yeah, no, I'd go for that again. I'd really go for that again.
All right.
Chobani Flip strawberry cheesecake. Give it a whirl. In your grocer's, not your. They used to say in your grocer's freezer. That's where you'd get your Encore meals. Remember those Encore meals?
I think it would be in the dairy.
In your grocer's dairy
aisle.
It tasted more. It's Encore.
Oh gosh, my normal dairy place is like at the back of the store, like at the back end horizontal end.
Like okay. Yeah,
where the refrigerator is and all the milk. There are some that have aisles, but yeah, we don't need to get into talking about the Orient of grocery stores. Picture your local one though, folks, and remember where the dairy aisle is.
If you can find it, you can try it. Otherwise, you're out of luck. So okay, the topic of the day, if you will, we wanted to revisit. We really like to kind of go back in time a little bit occasionally, and we plan on doing this frequently. I would say is to kind of go back in time or give you the history or the story of something. And this isn't going to be long form. These are a little more quick hits. But what we want to talk to you today about is golfers you may have forgotten.
Yeah,
and not necessarily just oh, the whatever happened to. Like, I don't want to do a whatever happened to necessarily
Yeah.
here. I want to tell you about people who were sick at golf. And maybe it was short lived, or maybe it was 100 years ago and you forgot about them or didn't know about them, or maybe just didn't know the full scope of what they accomplished in that short time. So if Andrew, unless you got something else to say about that,
No,
we can
no,
just-
definitely the I will remember you show.
exactly.
Not a I forgot about you and I got to bring you back up, but I
That's
will
it.
remember you.
That's it. We will remember you. So the first golfer I want to talk about, and I loved this guy, and he was coming up when I was like really, really getting into golf. Matteo Manassero, Italian
Looks
golfer.
like a very old Matteo Manacero.
That,
I remember him being like 20 years old.
Yeah, when he just looked youthful and lively.
Baby face,
I mean,
yeah.
they got the Epic Flash hat. So I don't know. Epic Flash was probably like 2017.
Yeah.
So that's that's like 25, 26-year-old.
I mean, he's
Matteo,
wearing
probably.
a Fitbit, so clearly, or is that a
Is
Fitbit?
that a
It's not a
Fitbit?
Whoop band, is it?
Could be a Whoop.
Okay.
Could
Sorry.
be a Whoop. So
Keep going.
maybe even I should know when Epic Flash came out. I don't know. If you know when Epic Flash came out, put it in the comments. Remind me. I need some help here. I
Yeah,
should know
maybe
and I don't.
we'll put you in for a raffle for nothing.
You will win nothing. So this guy came out and just started lighting it up, and he was heralded right as an amateur. At 16, he won the British Am, youngest ever at 16 to win the British Am. That qualified him for the 2009 Open Championship. So anybody who, if you know how it works, if you win the Open Championship or USAM, it's going to qualify you for a variety of majors. So he qualifies for the 2009 Open Championship, makes the cut, wins the silver medal, which is for the leading amateur.
Lead am. Yeah.
We'd call it low am, leading amateur, whatever. He finished tied for 13th. Okay. So as a 16-year-old in his first Open Championship, rolls up and finished 13th.
Yeah, that's pretty. At 16 years old, I was not doing that.
I had a Chevy Cavalier, and it was pretty awesome. It was like
Was
metallic
he
blue sparkle.
Was he a groomed guy? Like he always started from there?
I don't know his full the mega deep dive background on him. I don't know if he was like golf club in hand at age 2 with dad as a golf professional.
Yeah.
I don't think it was like that, but he
Okay.
certainly was like primed at a very, very young age.
Okay.
So he then, on the virtue of that British Am win, gets to go and play in the Masters the following year. So I think that would be like 2010. He goes to the Masters. Wouldn't you know it, youngest ever to make the cut. He's still 16 at the Masters. Sidebar, and I'm already going too long. Sidebar, that record was broken, if you all remember, by Guan Tianlang. One of my favorite Masters moments. He was 14. He did this like a few years later after Matteo. He was 14. He just came in there and he could only hit it like 230 off the tee and was just hitting like fairway woods on like every par 4 and actually made the cut at the Masters. And it was sick. And
At 14. Jeez.
yeah, and he is definitely a don't forget about me, where is he now kind of guy, but I'm not going to go into it, but I have looked.
Well, we could always hit this, a part 2.
Yeah, we
So,
might
like,
need a part 2 or just a pop in. But he played college golf somewhere and like was firing 78s and it was kind of nothing. But anyways, so but yeah,
Sometimes when you hit it too young, you just the limelight gets to you, and obviously you're talking about one right now too. But keep going. Tell me, keep talking to me about
sometimes
Matteo.
that star shines too bright, right? So Matteo did all of this as an amateur, right? So this was all as an am. He won the British Am, low amateur at Masters and British Open, and then he turns pro at 17 after being obviously the world's #1 ranked amateur. And hey, guess what? 5 months later, he wins his first European Tour event, and he becomes the youngest to ever win a European Tour event. So there's a trend here, right? This guy is like becoming the youngest to do everything. I mean, there hadn't been anybody that good probably since Tiger. There really wasn't anybody who was proving themselves with the hype surrounding them.
At least on the international stage.
Especially,
definitely on the international stage.
Especially. He was doing it everywhere. So he wins again the next season on the European Tour at 17. So now he is currently he's
youngest
the
and second youngest.
Yeah, first and second youngest to ever win. He's got 2 wins before he can I don't know, what can you do at 18?
Smoke.
Okay, 2 wins before you can smoke.
Yeah,
good for him.
He
wins, so he's humming along, right? He's humming along. Things are looking great. He wins again in 2012. In 2013, he wins the BMW PGA Championship, which is basically the like flagship event of the European Tour, probably akin to like a Players Championship.
Yes.
So he wins that. So he's got 4 wins in 3 seasons, and then he falls off. And again, I don't really want to highlight the fall off, but it is crazy to see what happened because, I mean, he was probably 20 at that point and just
seemingly say, hey, my career might be over at 20.
Yeah, totally primed for like world beater status here. He recorded 1 top 10 in 2014 and then pretty much kind of slowly went down the spiral to losing his like tour status like completely. If you look around, you'll see him pop up from time to time.
Is he currently on the Euro Tour?
So
still,
he won an Alps Tour event in 2020.
Okay,
I'm not too familiar with the Alps Tour, but I believe it's probably a rung below the European Challenge Tour, which is a rung below the European Tour. So you're talking about like the feeder tour, right? What would be probably the equivalent of playing in like PGA Tour Canada or something like that, right? It's a feeder tour that gets you to Korn Ferry Tour, that gets you to PGA Tour. You're quite a few steps away at that point.
Well, is it called Korn Ferry? Web.com?
No, it was web.com.
Oh, it rebranded to
like
Korn Ferry again?
Yeah. No. It's always it's been Korn Ferry for
why did I
don't
think
know,
web.com
2 or 3.
is?
It was once web.com.
What am I
for a while?
I'm losing.
You
my
must
mind.
have missed that one. That's okay.
No,
that's okay. You can get a free pass.
Okay, all right.
You can get a free pass.
My free pass is whoever I mess up on names again this week.
I'll help. I'll help you out. I'll help you out.
All right.
So, and that's pretty much like where he's at right now. He still plays. He plays on the Challenge Tour a little bit. He's ranked 433rd in the world, which isn't like astronomically bad, right? He's not. It's not like he's 1200th in the world.
One more time.
433rd.
Okay.
Like that's not
if you're
horrible.
the 433rd best at something in the world, that's not bad at all.
Yeah, I'm probably closer to the 433rd worst at some things. So, but what I will say is some of that too could come back to bite him a little bit. The OWGR is changing their structure to award quite a few less points to weaker field events in Europe and things like that.
Surprised he wasn't a potential bite for the Live Tour.
That's
to think about that. Like,
I would love to see him on the big stage again. He was electric, and I mean the man was handsome. He had the game. He had all the tools. So I'd love to see him come back.
Those Italian boys.
And you know what? It's cool. He's not done yet, but Matteo Manassero. If you never heard of him, quite the run. About 13 years ago.
Young cat.
Yep.
We wish him the best.
Yep.
And if you haven't heard of him, and if you don't know, now you know.
Exactly.
So my first, you already flipped to the picture.
And
so
I was like,
it's okay.
I thought I was
going
to be spot on with your change, and I missed
No. So I'm going to lead in by saying this guy, probably one of the least notable, but like kind of just funny things that I like to say, was he was nominated for the 2009 Best Upset Emmy, ESPY, and that is Y.E. Yang. His 2009 win over Tiger, known as the Tiger Killer. I'll get to another reason why he is that.
You gotta rewind back here, right?
Yeah. Oh, we're going all the way back. We might go to birth. No, we can't go to birth.
Let me just say, I am like Tiger Woods fan number one, and I love this guy because what he did was unbelievable.
Some of the things that he not only unbelievable, but some of the things like he looked like he was having a fun time golfing. Like some people just look like they're all business. Yes, he looked all business, but whenever anything good happened to him, it just looked like a joy. It literally, he was smiling like it looks like he would joke around with you even if he didn't know the language very well. There was a language barrier, but I'm going to break into just a little bit about him. So to start off, this man is, he is the middle of the middle children. He's one of 8 and the 4th. So you can't get any more middle than that. So it would seem like maybe a little neglected, like he was just doing things. Picked up golf at 19. 19, self-taught by just because he was picking balls at a range for part-time work. All right? His brother thought he should go like take lessons and everything. He was like, no, I'm not going to do that. All right. 20, he's told he needs to get a proper job. You know, you got to bring home some money to the family, all of that stuff.
Got 8 kids.
Dude tears his ACL trying to walk down the stairs while he's getting trained on how to work an excavator at a construction company. Oh. Promise. Yes. So tears his ACL there. As soon as he can't golf, can't do anything, can't focus on this. As soon as he gets done rehabbing, straight to military service. Has to require his military service. So this dude couldn't even...
He's like 22 or something.
20, yeah, he's 20. 21 was his mandatory service.
Okay.
So at the conclusion of his service, he moved to New Zealand. Then he could start golfing. This dude didn't even pick up competitive golfing until about 25. So like... started late.
Okay.
6 years later, he's done with military service, regular work. He's starting to golf. So kind of a regular, did semi-pro things, didn't really come onto the scene until about 2006. 2006, he won. So this is also pretty crazy. He won the Korean Tour. He won the Korean Open, which is an Asian Tour event. That then qualified him for you remember the HSBC Champions?
Yeah.
Which is now, I believe, a WGC event.
I think it's gone now.
Yeah, it's probably gone, but they rebranded it WGC for a little bit. Goes to that, wins it. Who does he beat?
Tiger Woods.
Tiger Woods.
Oh, I did not know this.
He did beat Tiger Woods.
He took 2 of Tiger's lives.
Yes. He beats Tiger Woods, and that qualifies him. That's his Q School qualification for...
Yeah, he's a PGA Tour member now because of that win.
He won on the Asian Tour, then won his first tournament for the HSBC. Boom, he's in.
Wow.
All right, and so some of the other notable things, obviously, we know. We know the 2009 win PGA Championship, the only player to ever take down Tiger in a final round, or from behind, right?
Yes.
It's from behind, yes.
Well, I think the only player to beat him, yes, when he was holding a 54-hole leader co-lead, yes.
Correct. So he's had some trouble back and forth staying on, he's stayed on the tour for the most part, but he had some trouble qualifying for events. He had the PGA Championship. Last time he actually made the cut at the PGA was unfortunately 2015. And if you don't know, I'm gonna throw out a couple of records here just to kind of spin this. 2015 was Jason Day's record 20 under at a major, period. He also has seen history made at face value. He was the number 2 for the 3rd and 4th rounds to Rory's U.S. Open when he set the record at 16 under.
Really?
Yeah. But I think he finished like 6th, but he was there for the 3rd and the 4th rounds of that. So He's been moving around a lot.
I assume he's like 45 now, right?
No, he's 50. He
Oh,
just
okay.
made his Champions Tour debut this year.
I love it.
Playing pretty well. I think he had a couple of top 10s in that season. Back to kind of Mr. Consistency. Obviously he's playing within his group and probably more of his peers than what is on the PGA Tour. Unfortunately, 2001 was a bad PGA Tour for him. And imagine this. And I wanted to ask you something about
2001
this.
or
I'm sorry,
2011?
2021. My
21.
fault.
Okay.
2021 DQ'd for signing the wrong scorecard.
Happens.
He was going to. But what do you think goes on there? Like, signing the wrong scorecard, getting DQ'd for signing the wrong scorecard. Are you just so in your own, like, world that, like, I shot a 4 on that one. It was really a 5.
I feel like when those things happen, they're the unfortunate result of actually the other guy writing your score down wrong and you just not paying attention.
You think so?
Yeah, because I mean, the other guy keeps your card, right? So he's writing down your score, you're writing down his score.
True.
So like you make 3, or you make 4, he writes down 3, and you're not paying attention. You just go, yeah, I don't know, 67. That's what I thought I had, and sure enough, it was a 68. And whoops.
That's interesting. I haven't thought about it that way. I would just thought it was like, but at the same time, are you not communicating with your playing partner? Yeah. Oh, I got you down for a 5 on that one. Yeah, I got a 5. But no, it's just everyone's in their own.
I just write stuff down for people just to see if they'll catch it.
That's true. That's true. Well, you don't gamble that often.
No,
so
I
it's
don't.
not like...
But I bet after like doing that 4,000 times, you can get like blasé about it, right?
Yeah,
a little
I could see that. Yeah, a little laissez-faire. I get it. But so all in all, YE, pretty successful career. Had a good spurt there, right from like 2006 to 2000 and probably 11 ish.
Solid golf. Yeah.
Made both Presidents Cups in 9 and 11. He also, so right now, Champions Tour, but to kind of turn this full circle, owns and teaches lessons at his own driving range down in Dallas, in Koreatown.
Really?
And lives, I think I read this right, I think he lives about 5 minutes away from fellow South Korean KJ Choi, and still are friends today. So like,
look at that, you tied this.
Hey,
you tied a bow on this.
I good guy, really good guy.
Can I just say, so this picture, dude, this guy had some serious drip. Okay, he wore this clothing brand. I've tried to like find places to buy it when he was hot, and it was.
Are those llamas or camels?
They are.
They got to be llamas.
Roosters.
Rooster.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I see it.
La Coq pour Sportif or something, which means like the sporty rooster. And he wore some awesome clothes, and this was awesome. Again like 2009 when like people weren't dressing cool yet. They were still they were like borderline or just a little drab, and he was dressing really cool. And then obviously,
I like him even more now. Print polos.
I mean, who was wearing print polos back then, right?
No.
So I love that guy and what he did. I mean, you didn't even talk about the 2009 PGA Championship.
I feel like so many people they know that story and how he came back by chipping in for eagle. Yes. On what was that, 14? I think it was 14 chipped in for eagle. Well, here's the thing. Tiger has gotten him once. 2009 President's Cup, they faced off. Tiger beat him.
Singles?
Yes. Tiger beat him 6-5.
Got his revenge there.
And that was to seal the win. So.
Okay.
Yeah, so
I'm sure he'd take that major though.
Oh, and the HSBC win.
Yeah. That's a really impressive career from this guy in a short time span, coming from nowhere. Super cool.
Coming from nowhere, starting at 19, having to take a break before you could even get your career started. And I think I broached that last week when we were talking about like Korean military service and like a need with like this Tom Kim and other players. Like if you start young and you have to go into the military, what kind of throw off is that going to be? How could that, like, what would that do for you mentally? What if you find a career in the military and you're just, okay, well, done.
Well, he apparently came back stronger.
Yeah, he did.
That's awesome. Wow. Thanks, Andrew.
Hey,
that was cool. That was more than I That was more than I expected.
Oh, I'm glad. I'm glad you're interested.
Thank you.
You were interested.
So who do I got? Who do I got next? I'm trying to remember who. Okay, so we are taking it deep. Okay,
We're gonna go back in time.
we are taking it deep. They didn't have color photos. Okay, so this is John McDermott. Now, most people know John McDermott if you've ever seen the movie The Greatest Game Ever Played or read the book Greatest Game Ever Played.
Can you name that actor?
The actor who played him,
Yes.
is he famous? I remember he was like a red-haired guy.
No, I could just tell you that I couldn't name him. I couldn't give you his name, but I could give you his IMDb page of another.
What's the other? What? Give me an. I have no idea.
He was in Super Troopers. He was a fellow Spurbury policeman. He was in there.
You're right.
There's a couple other smaller roles that I remember him for, but you know what? While you do that, I'm gonna look up this.
Look him up?
I'm gonna look him up.
Look him up. Let me know. Because not that that's important, really, but I like it. So everybody knows that character from the movie or book as this like brash American guy he stood up on a chair and he told the Brits that this is our trophy and don't you dare come try and take it from us and blah 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 blah, right? And that's how I feel like his like current legacy is kind of built around that moment.
Thanks, Bill Paxton.
Yeah.
By the way, that's a second Bill Paxton
Did
mention in a week.
Like,
he made it
that
last
movie
year
or something?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow. If we get a Bill Paxton reference every week, that would just blow my mind.
I'm gonna try to make it a thing now.
Okay, you can do it. And that really became like his legacy. And man, it couldn't be farther than that. Francis Ouimet got all the love for American golf, for basically being the father of American golf. And maybe it was just like good marketing for him and John McDermott not knowing how to play the game a little bit. But let me take you back. Oh, you got the actor.
Mm-hmm. Just really quick.
Somebody's
Michael Weaver.
Michael Weaver. Yeah.
Okay, look him up. He's been in
Michael
quite a
Weaver,
few things.
if you're watching, thank you for your performances throughout the years. Much appreciated.
Yes, thank you very much.
You are a gentleman and a scholar.
And good portrayal of John McDermott, although it may not have been true to the actual man.
Yeah, you might have screwed him.
You definitely set up the Americans versus the Brits part of that movie.
Did. And he did say those words. Like, that was a real thing that happened.
Oh, okay.
Like, that scene wasn't like a BS. Like, that actually happened. He said that stuff.
But it made him look, in the movie portrayal, it didn't like, that was the only highlight of his attitude.
Correct.
And that
Correct.
sort of,
They didn't give us any.
he didn't keel over on the 16th and quit through.
Right. Okay. Well, and so they gave you no background on him, right? And that's not what the movie was about. But so this kid, like a Pennsylvania kid, really comes from nothing, drops out of high school at like 16 or 17 to become a professional golfer. He worked as a caddy at some local clubs and was a big time player, right? So he plays his first U.S. Open at 17 and does really well. I think he finishes like 19th or something like that. To this point, no American had won the U.S. Open. So they'd all been won by British golfers up to this point.
Yep.
And like mostly the same 4 or 5 guys.
Harry Vardon.
Yeah, your Vardens, your Braids, those big time, big hitters, right? The heavy hitters. So no one had won it. He plays in his first, and I think that was 1910. Again, he would have been about 17. Plays in his first, does really well. 1911 comes around. I'm sorry, I had my years wrong. He was 18. Okay. Comes back the next year, wins it. Youngest ever to win the U.S. Open, becomes the first American-born U.S. Open champion, right? So this is the first guy who actually claimed golf from the British.
Yeah.
Like, he is the first guy who was like...
For America's trophy. Of that,
So what does he do? He comes out the next year and wins it again. Record-setting performance, shoots under par in a U.S. Open for the first time. So now he's got it back-to-back. He's reclaimed the throne, and he's right? He should be on top of the world at this point, and he kind of is. But you can see he has these personality traits flowing that are making him unsavory to people, right? But he doesn't really care. So 1913 is the famous year of greatest game ever played. Francis Ouimet, all that stuff. McDermott comes back. And so that's why he's an important part of that story, because he was the top American golfer at the time. And he was in the thick of it, but couldn't get it done that week. I think he finished 8th or something like that in 1913. He also went that year, played in the British Open, which, God, you really didn't do that. It was like a month on a boat or something, probably.
Yeah.
So people didn't really do that. It was very difficult to get there. He went over there and finished 5th in like his only Open Championship appearance.
Yeah.
He comes back to the States, and things start to get tumultuous for him, and his game starts to slide a little bit. And he's kind of trying to hang on, but at the same time starts going through like personal problems. He ends up having a nervous breakdown, and basically within a couple years is completely removed from golf, gets put in like an insane asylum. And it was like, I would,
when did you first hear about this?
Like a couple months ago.
Oh gosh. Okay.
Yeah, a couple months ago, a coworker was telling me, like, do you know the whole story of this guy? And I was like, I do not. So, and I'm rambling, but really, like, this is kind of and an insane asylum like 110 years ago was probably a little different than what we think it is. It was basically like you went to live out your days at this place and people took care of you. It wasn't like they did lobotomies and stuff like that. And maybe in some places, but in his case, that wasn't it. His sisters basically took care of him the rest of his life. He still like played golf, like like they would take him out to play golf.
Sounds like a retirement home at young age.
I don't know. Yeah, like he would play golf all the time still, and but basically disappeared from the game. He popped up occasionally at like big events, like would pop up at a U.S. Open at age 80, just to hang out and take it in and stuff like that. Somebody told me like a story about him. I guess he showed up at some U.S. Open and kind of was walking around like, yeah, I'm a U.S. Open champion, like doing his thing. And the officials or security were trying to kick him out. And Arnold Palmer came up and was like, yo, this is John McDermott. Like, you let him in. And he ended up like kind of spending the day with Palmer and following him around the course. And it ended up being like one of those like great moments kind of for him at the end of his golfing life. But yeah, so John McDermott, like, don't forget the name. This guy could ball hard and really kind of got lost in the Francis Ouimet shuffle and should be remembered.
Yeah, no, especially at the first winner of the U.S. like U.S.'s major. Yeah, of course. Well, kind of transitioning to
where are we at?
We're
how far are we in?
We're
42
40-ish. Yeah.
Okay.
No,
okay.
We got some time.
Okay.
We'll make these our next couple quick ones.
I have some yogurt.
So yeah, eat some more yogurt. It's it's a plentiful yogurt. Can keep going. So my next profile, current golfer, just like YE and Mateo. Little on the younger side. I think he's probably a year younger than I am. And that is the only Andrew Beef Johnson. And I like to call this section, Where's the Beef?
Where's the Beef?
Yes. I mean, look at that, man. That if that doesn't scream to you bro golf, like 1,000%. So, like, to start off, Beef Johnson came from kind of a nobody family.
Johnston, right?
Johnston. I'm sorry.
I want to help you out. You botch the names. I want to help you out.
That's cool. I'm sorry, Beef. If you ever listen to this, don't listen to me. So, well, there's another name coming up that you're gonna have to. I think I Google listened to it. It's not there anymore anyway. But so Andrew Beef Johnston. Working class family. His dad was a bus driver. Mom was a lunch lady. And although he came from kind of a blue collar family, started golfing and took an affinity to it right away. Like, we're talking, he was 14 playing for, school championships, all of that. But it wasn't till, so he was a part of have you heard of the um, English, Ireland versus the rest of Europe kind of juniors tournament?
I'm not familiar with this event.
Well, hopefully you would. It's called the Jacques Lingues Trophy.
Yo, I don't know that one. Okay.
He actually, 2007, paired up with the English Ireland team that featured Tommy Fleetwood and played against Chaboy Matteo Manacero
No way.
in 2007.
Wow. Big time hitters in that.
Yeah. There was a good squad there. So he has one professional win, which I'll go over, and one professional runner up against another whatever happened to. How about Joust Luton?
Oh, Joust. I love
Yeah.
Joust.
Yeah, I mean
Love
that would be
Joust. Does he only have one professional win?
beef.
No, Joust.
Oh no.
Oh, okay.
No, I was just saying just another.
You can't take down Joust.
No,
He's a
Joust.
beast.
Joust, I got it. He dominated the Euro Tour for a couple of
Handsome
years
man.
there. So let's talk a little bit about this how he came up, because I think the highlight of his career, we all know it to be the 2016 British Open, where people just took an affinity to him because he was just like your everyday guy and looked like just an
He was like
absolute,
a little John Daly-ish.
just exactly a little lumberjackish, and the Arby's picture, just great. The beard is like untrimmed and out of control. It looks like half of Paul Bunyan, looks like half of Sasquatch. I mean, it's great. So all right. So turned professional in 2009, and this is after his kind of successful junior career, but he didn't really see success until 2011, on and off the Euro and the Challenge Tour, which is the Challenge Tour is like the Corn Ferry Tour of the Euro Tour, and then so he just kept bouncing back and forth to those, couldn't retain card, couldn't do anything, and then in 2016, that's when he took off, started the year with a T4, and then won the Spanish Open the next tournament.
Okay.
And that's what set him in to qualify for the British.
And is that what, like, did that win put him on the stage where we all of a sudden knew he was a personality?
Maybe not here.
Okay.
But I'm sure that was probably being identified on the Euro Tour. But the Open was really, the 2016 where he T10'd was really where he was, because this was a guy that was just like bouncing around the golf course like it was just any other day, and people took an affinity to that. I think Phil even mentioned, like, during that tournament at some point, like it was brought up to him in a question. It was like, what do you like about this guy? He's just like, he just doesn't have a care in the world. And I really wish that people like saw that in me at times, but I just don't put that face on all the time. So he ended up after
Was he like in the hunt in that, or just
I think he
was around enough to make a name?
I'm sorry, I didn't look up the exact. I just knew the finish. I think he was on Saturday and then just kind of hovered around into Sunday. So, but he went on to do to have two other top tens that year. He top 10'd in the BMW. Which again is like their PGA championship over there. Not PGA championship, their players. Thank you. And so everyone got to know him about his look and everything like that. The immense popularity seemingly got to him a little bit. He's had some self-identified mental health issues, breakdowns on the golf course, he's started to cry and come off the golf course and stop. But it's self-identified, and he's really been open about it, been cool to try to support other people who have done that. He's kind of been off the radar. He did after that 2016 season, did get his PGA Tour card in 2017. Didn't retain it, unfortunately. So he's been flirting back and forth on the Euro Tour and the Challenge Tour since then. He has since beefed down, if you will, lost some of that beef, that extra beef.
It's like a 90-10 beef now.
Yeah, exactly. I think he's more like lean beef. Like you said, 90-10. But he got married, has his child now, is seemingly doing a lot better for his mental health, and he's still 33. He's got time. He's got time to come through. And I mean, if he can still bring back that infectious like personality, that smile, that loving golf and loving kind of being around the golf course, I think people will pick up to him really, really quickly again.
Yeah, he was making a name for himself as just a great personality, right? A guy people wanted to be around. I remember the European Tour has always been great with their social media. Now the DP World Tour, but then
Correct.
European Tour, they were great with their social media, and they put him in they really put him to work.
Yeah.
But it was great because
he was writing blogs for them. He was writing like blogs, and that's where he really came out. And I think it was end of 2018 season, he came out with a blog that was just like really struggling with my mental health and going through all of that. I looked up the article and was reading it for a little bit, and I was like, oh, this is heavy. I don't know if I can get through all of this right this second, but I fully support the man. I hope he comes back. You know, even if it is just on like a level that people can see him, not a tour or anything like that. Like, I feel like, again, we've talked about how you can get exposure through other channels, social medias, all of that.
Still be a statesman of the game.
For sure. 100%. And again, wish him all the best.
Well, we love to see you back, Beef.
Yeah.
Hopefully you're feeling strong.
Come on back.
So that's an interesting segue into the next guy I was looking to talk about. And not that I want to put anything out there that's not accurate, but we saw with Beef he had some mental health issues that maybe hampered him and caused him to really decline in his performance and need to step away from the game and change things in his life, right? The next guy, some would say that maybe some of those things may have hampered him as well.
Yeah.
We are talking about the mighty David Duval. This is a name that people forget, right? You see, he's a personality now on Golf Channel. You see him calling and analyzing golf on TV. This guy was legit at one time one of the best to ever do it.
Oh, easily. I think he caught a little bit unfortunate. Give him probably 5 years before Tiger or 5 years after Tiger's greatness, and this guy could have
he could have gone on a tear.
Exactly.
Sure. But he did. And so
that's
what I want to get into. And I'll circle back to kind of how I led us into this, because I think there's a lot of question marks, and I never want to take a guess at what happened in somebody's life with no facts, but
sure.
I think you could see some of the cracks once we get down the road. But you can count on one hand the amount of players that took down Tiger Woods when he was in his prime. There are very few. Vijay Singh was one of them.
Yeah.
People forget Retief Goosen.
Prime wasn't 2009, I guess. Wasn't really.
Yeah, well, no, Tiger was primed there, but he was also coming off massive amounts of injuries, but he was still great.
Yeah.
So let's talk about that 97 to like 2004
period.
There weren't many people that was taking Tiger Woods down. David Duval was able to take the number one ranking from Tiger Woods during this time. When I talk to like younger people about golf, I'm like, oh, dude, you remember David Duval? No idea.
No.
Because of the way he kind of disappeared. So kind of mysterious too. But so, I mean, there was a 4-year stretch where this guy looked like, whoa, we're gonna have two guys going at it like this for decades now. It really looked, the writing was on the wall that he was coming. He was a college stud. He went to Georgia Tech.
Yeah, it'll be a Lakers versus Boston
Yes,
Celtics.
yes,
It'll
like,
just be
that's
always some
truly what it
Yeah.
looked like was coming. And when he was in college, he led a PGA Tour event at a 54 hole mark. He didn't win, but you don't see that very frequently for a college player as an amateur to be possibly winning a PGA Tour event. It hasn't happened since like Phil Mickelson did it in, I don't know, the early 90s. He went to the Nike Tour after he left college, which was the precursor to the Korn Ferry Buy.com, Web.com.
Okay. All right.
I don't
all
know
right.
what all the other names were. So he went there for a couple years, played nice golf, went to the PGA Tour in '95. Two nice starting kind of, get it over fastball kind of years for him there, but got his game together. '97, he would come to life. So he basically, in a 3-week stretch in late 1997 in the fall, won 3 weeks in a row. So wins his first tournament and then 2 more right after that, back to back to back. So he'd do that in a 13. He would do that in a 3-week stretch. He won 13 times on the PGA Tour total, from 95 to 2001. All of that happening from 97 to 2001. So 13 times in 4 years. And that would culminate in the 2001 Open Championship. He was 29 at that moment, right? So,
Prime of his career, peak.
Right. Especially in those days, the best players weren't 20 like they are now.
Yeah.
It was usually guys like that in their late 20s, early 30s that would really come together.
Yes.
He became world number 1 in 1999. You have to remember, he was the first player to shoot 59. In a final round.
No, I do remember that.
Let's just shout out this shirt.
That
There's maybe not a worse shirt on the planet.
Tommy Hilfiger coming out with RLX. I will forever be like, oh, awesome! You established one.
That was Ralph Lauren.
Okay, I'm gonna shut up right now. No, I'm not.
Maybe they had THX and you missed it.
Okay.
Well, this was back in the late 90s when any brand tried to make.
Remember how we were talking? Yeah, remember how we were talking about that FootJoy extra large ruffle?
This is
that's what I'm thinking.
If you guys get a chance, Google this image and just look at all the
would
weird.
You ever cut cut an article of clothing like that?
The armpit is 8 inches. The armpit fabric literally hangs down.
You can
8
see
inches below
that
his
dude
arm.
was probably sweating so much, but yet you can only see a monocle of pit stain because that is so baggy that
But I'll never forget this tan polo shirt because it was iconic. Him fist pumping, making that putt on the last hole for an eagle.
Mr. Oakley,
shoot the 59
too. I think he was one of the first people to ever wear Oakleys and make them look like that. Cool in golf.
Yes.
Because he's not wearing the basic regular shades. He's wearing what looks like a MLB outfielder should be
he's
wearing.
cycling or something like
exactly.
that. Yeah. When David Duval had the goatee going and those glasses, he looked like anybody's dad, basically. If you find pictures of him with the goatee and
how about the hat too?
This is not drip, but when you're dropping 59s to win tournaments, it morphs into drip.
Yeah.
I don't even know if I know what drip is.
No, it's fine. It drips all the same.
I didn't even mean to get on this tangent. This is not it. This is not in the notes.
The perforations in the hat, the two little brass perforations. I never got that either. Oh, there's sweat to make sure sweat goes.
David Duval is just all of your dads. Okay,
yes.
Except your dads aren't good at golf. Your dads are horrible at golf.
Correct.
I've seen them. I've seen them all play.
Yes. On a Saturday.
So here's some more. So he shoots the 59 to win. First time anybody's ever done it in the final round to win. It was really sick. From 98 to and he didn't just win one major and a bunch of tour events. From 98 to 2001, he played in 15 majors. He finished 11th better 12 times. So 12 out of 15 of the majors he played, he finished 11th or better.
Okay.
That's sustained excellence, right? For basically almost 4 years. He was on a big-time heater. I'm surprised he didn't win more. Then, after the 2001 Open Championship, he'll never win again. Anything.
Wow.
Never. Okay.
I mean, I guess it's a way to go out, going out on top with a major.
Except when
But
you
like,
don't expect it.
yes, correct.
Kind of like
No,
Mateo Montecero. Like he was rolling
well,
and then
at
it was just done.
what age we were talking?
So he would have been, I think, 29.
Phew, okay, yeah,
Yeah,
that's
29.
that's a tough act.
29. So, and here's the thing: like he went within 2 years. He went from leading the money list to 211th on the money list. This wasn't like, he's still hanging around. Like he's basically without major exemption, he's just would be losing his tour card.
Yeah.
After being the number one player in the world 3 years earlier, he was shooting probably more scores in the 80s than he was in the 60s. And then, so, here's where it comes, like, the question marks come in. He's never really said, oh, well, here's what happened, or I lost my game,
or I
got
dealt with this specific
but
issue.
He had he had injuries. He had a lot of injuries. He had, like, bouts of vertigo. But then a lot of people say there was something going on upstairs with him. A lot of people say that's the reason he wore the shades, because he had, like, anxiety, and he wore that to kind of shield himself. Yeah. And you have to wonder, right? If you've ever, I've never really competed in high level sport, but imagine, if you have those kinds of problems and you're trying to deal with it on the world's biggest stage, I imagine that can be crippling. I mean, you talked about how it happened with Beef Johnston, and that was a guy who won one tour event, right, and was mostly an anonymous player.
Yeah, I mean, and you get to that level at such a younger age, or you're used to that at such a young age, and you haven't quite fully matured, or you haven't quite experienced failure or anything like that. If it comes to you so quick, yeah, it's no wonder that something can just be sustained, or it could be assumed that you're not right in some way, shape, or form. I mean,
everybody's guessing.
Correct.
Right. So again, I don't want to say
he's now doing, like, he's on the PGA Tour as a talent, right? Isn't he?
He's a Golf Channel analyst now.
Golf Channel analyst.
Yeah. So,
okay.
And he's great. He's really great at that. I mean, you're getting insight from the mind of a former number one golfer. That's awesome. So final bit to this. Some people may remember there was one awesome moment, because if you follow guys like that, you
only one
them,
though.
Only one. No, there was a few other times he popped up. But if you follow golf like I do, or some of the other hardos do, you root for that comeback, right? You go, man, I just want to see this guy do it again one more time because of what he gave me 10, 20 years ago. 2009 U.S. Open. He goes all the way through sectional qualifying to get in the field, and that's not like, oh, you got the Tour Pro bump into the final qualifier. Like, he had to go through all of them, 2 or 3 stages probably, to get through and play. And this is when his game is completely gone. Like, he's done nothing in years, and he's in it the whole way through. Ends up finishing tied for second. Lucas Glover won that year at Bethpage Black, if anybody remembers. It was a very weird finish. It was rainy. Nobody wanted to win it. But I mean, it was awesome to see him, like, come back, and the crowds just ate it up, and it was a really cool moment. And the guy's never really given up, which, much respect for that. And now he's doing awesome stuff on Golf Channel. And so David Duval, I'm telling you, if you get a chance, like, look up some highlight videos or something. He was Stripe Show.
I definitely remember. Just how kind of, it wasn't a flat golf swing, but just how straight up. Remember how you were talking about today, how Colin Morikawa was doing the thing with Dude Perfect, how, like, just straight on line. It always looked, whenever you had a back angle of David Duval hitting a golf ball, always on line.
Lasers.
Always on the line. Like, if he's shooting at a pin,
on the line.
But he never, like, maybe this is me. Dude could probably shot shape better than anybody, but it always seemed like whenever I watched him during a tournament, always started right on the pin.
Yeah, this is a very robotic kind of golf. But yeah, so if you ever get the chance, definitely look up just some highlights from this guy, and you'll see some stellar, ridiculous golf being played.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So my last one is it's
What
kind
is
of
your
an
I don't know what your last one is.
interesting story, and I think you're gonna like this a lot because there is some mystery to it. It's a ongoing storyline that you may not be tracking or anything like that, but still, I'm gonna bring you to life with it. You may have once incorporated with them before, but it is the Tiger Woods PGA Tour EA Sports video game. Whatever
Oh,
happened to him?
oh man, I wasn't okay. I wasn't ready for that.
Okay. Well,
I don't know what my next picture in this slideshow is.
I don't
Should we
think
find
you.
out?
Yeah,
Should we
sure.
find
Why
out?
not?
I don't know what it is. Oh,
Oh,
look at him.
David on the
He looks
desk.
like he's making a hot point right there.
David on the desk, and then we just have a golf course.
Yeah, it's just
So,
a golf course.
Well, I
I
appreciate
took that picture.
Hey, that's a great.
Picture. It's a beautiful picture.
Where's that at?
That's at Whistling
Whistling?
Straits.
I was gonna say. Looks like on the side there. Okay.
You can find a video of John Daly launching a golf club into the water on this hole.
I think
It's
I
awesome.
remember that. Okay, let's go through this really quick because there is a current storyline, and I want you to follow this because this will be interesting. And I'm wondering what it's gonna do for like maybe the future of golf and kids that are involved in video games and everything like that. So to understand this, we got to go back to not the start of video games, but like golf video games and kind of give it an overview. So like golf video games weren't necessarily that cool. Jack had his own video game for a little bit. I think Arnie had a golf game that was trash, but then most of them were those standard like 8-bit video games that you would just
I had a
hit
game
and
that I
go.
would play on my grandpa's computer in
Yeah.
like the early 90s. It was just like PGA Tour golf. And
So,
like
okay.
Hale Irwin was the best
Listen,
guy.
it was not big. These games did not get big until, and none of them had branding prior to 1990 when EA Sports made a deal with the PGA to do licensing with the PGA Tour. So 1990 to 1997, they make EA Sports PGA Tour Golf, just standard, and the year on the end of it.
Okay.
And it has golfers, you could get the golf courses and everything. But it wasn't until 98 till they landed their golden goose. And that's obviously Tiger Woods. So Tiger, I think at the peak of his deal, maybe it was at the start, but I was reading somewhere, made about 6 to 7 million a year for these video games. They made them, had a terrific run because it went from 98 to 2013. Keep in mind, so I'm going to talk a little bit about years here. The game year is not the released year. They release it the year ahead for the next season.
Okay.
So if I say it's 13, the game is 14.
Got it.
Okay? So they make Tiger games like I remember some of the best Tiger games like 04, 05, 06, like when he was at peak, like Tiger Slam, all of that stuff. And that was more of like, I think the best game ever that I played was Tiger Woods 03. However, you start to see this trend. Now, EA Sports didn't drop him when all of the infidelity, the scandal, all of that happened in 09. Not to, bring up anything, but you did see a shift because 10, the game that came out for the 2010 season, after that, it started to be co-branded. It was still EA Sports Tiger Woods PGA Tour Golf, but there were other people on the cover. So the 11 year, it was Tiger and Rory. 12 year, it was Tiger and the Masters. 13 year, it was Tiger and Ricky. And 14 year, the last one was Tiger and Arnie. So
I don't think I've ever even seen that cover.
Either it was kind of like a new age and the classic,
Okay.
and it was Arnie in his prime. So you started to see that shift of like post all of this. Okay, Tiger's starting to kind of dial down, even though like his last major win might have been 2008. Dude was the leading money winner in 11 and second in 12. So like he wasn't going anywhere and he could still market and you could still market his name and everything. But it was kind of almost that trend, multiple trends of like EA Sports wanted to get out of golf. It wasn't selling that well, all of this stuff. But there were two other world wins in 2013 that were happening. One, Tiger's
A whirlwind is
Sorry.
a wind that occurs around the entire world.
whirlwind. Jeez.
Just in case anybody
He just makes fun of how I talk. Okay, I get it. So, Tiger's partnership deal was going to end. And they were also, EA Sports was also losing the licensing deal to using Augusta. So they had some like serious consideration to do, are we going to pick up golf anymore? What they were going to do is they were going to pick up, and this is common in the video game world, they were going to outsource the development of the game, their next game that was going to be Tiger. They were going to outsource the development to another studio, and then they were going to allow their in-house studio called EA Tiburon, who is now currently producing a lot of things for them. But it's just like when you have a good developer that you've outsourced to, you just buy their studio because you have the big enough money, and you just let them develop for you internally, and then you publish it yourself.
Got it.
So I promise this has a point. So what ends up happening is their CEO in the beginning of 2013 resigns, and they go, okay, we got to restructure money. Scrap golf. We're done with it. They end up letting their own studio do a 2-year cycle, develop this game, this next game. And they let go of the partnership with Augusta and Tiger and say, we're done with that. It was amicable, apparently, but I would have liked to be in the room to hear all of that was stopping. And who do they market with? They market with Rory. They pick up Rory as a game, release that game as their 2-year cycle game, 2015, which was released for the 2016 season. Then they stop for like 3 years.
I don't think that Rory game did very well.
Oh, it did terribly.
Okay.
So here's a segue. That little studio that was supposed to be outsourced to make the next Tiger Woods game decides to branch off and make their own game. And that golf game is called The Golf Club. 2014 release.
Oh my goodness.
All right.
Okay.
That studio is called HB Studios. HB Studios makes another golf club in 2017, starting to catch traction. 2017 is also the year that EA Sports relinquished the exclusive licensing to PGA Tour. HB Studios is ready to make another game. They don't have that much money. They get sponsorship from 2K Sports, and they make the golf club and pick up the licensing from PGA Tour that says it is the golf club presented by or featuring the PGA Tour. They only had a couple of courses, anything like that. But it was still like they picked up a new licensing with them. All right. Again, now EA Sports is catching wind of some of this, and you see the wheels turning, like they have to kind of get back into that.
This was our mountain.
Yes, exactly. We used to have it. It was like it was like Madden. It was that big, all of that stuff. So EA Sports, well, actually, I'm sorry. Then 2K Sports in tandem with HB ends up picking up PGA 2K21. Justin Thomas on the cover. They released it during COVID, kind of caught it all of that at the perfect time. Sweet. They released it one of the better golf games in the last 20 years. A lot of designing, all of that. And so now EA Sports is like, oh, shoot, we got to catch up. So what are they going to do? They start announcing that they're going to do exclusivity and get all the licensing to only majors and the major names. Because no golf game has ever had all of the majors and exclusive rights to those.
No PGA Tour?
No PGA Tour.
Interesting.
Well, no, I'm sorry. They are going to be PGA Tour, but it's going to be like the road to the Masters, and you'll have exclusive names to all of that stuff.
Nice.
And so while all of this is going on, 2K Sports says, I'll do you one better. We're going to bring your old friend back, and we're going to bring Tiger to PGA 2K23.
Really?
And he signed an exclusive partnership with them to use his likeness, all of that. And they threw that out. Released the game earlier. Now, next year, they've had delays with EA Sports' Road to the Masters by with the PGA Tour and all of that. So I'm just wondering how this is going to turn out, because there really hasn't been this. There's been it in different sports with like football. There's been 2K football and Madden football. Baseball, there's been 2K and there's been MLB and all of that, but there's never really been that in the golf sector.
Yeah.
So I'm very interested to see what's going to be more valuable. Is it going to be the personas and the people that sell it, or is it going to be, the luster of the PGA Tour and the tournaments and all of that, and what's going to be the draw here?
Well, we talked about this, and I didn't know you had all this background info, but we talked about this earlier, and one of the things you brought up was the gameplay. Like, will the gameplay win out? And I feel like that ends up being the case with golf games. Like, golf is niche, but when the gameplay is so good, like that last 2K game did really well. Like, I remember people were like became popular to stream yourself playing online tournaments, and
ridiculous.
And that would have never been a thing like 10 years ago, even if it existed. But I feel like it was because the gameplay was really fun and engaging, and just the right amount of difficult without like making it so you had to understand golf.
Yeah,
and it really caught on. So yeah, to your point, like I wonder what's going to be the thing. Like for me, I know the newer EA game has the Masters component. 2012 Tiger Woods was the first time they released the Masters. The EA Sports Tiger Woods game was the first Master, and you have no idea. That blew my mind. Like the Masters had never been in anything at that point. No one was getting the Masters, and to play Augusta National in a video game was just. I don't even know what to say right now. I'm thinking about it now. I'm going back 10 years. Like that's all I played. I don't really play video games anymore. That's the only video
so then
game
let
I
me
play.
ask you a question. If you had a draw and you could play as Tiger Woods, or you could play Augusta on a video game, what is it?
I'd go Augusta.
Okay.
I'd go Augusta.
That's
especially on a new game with, like, I'm sure both platforms or both developers are really good and the gameplay will be awesome.
I mean, thinking about it, EA hasn't had a golf game since 2016. And that's, plenty of time to think about it, plenty of time to develop, and plenty of time to get good in-house developers and all of that. But like,
didn't you have a trailer or something? Isn't there like a trailer for the game?
Yeah.
Yeah, it looked really awesome.
Well, your boy was in it, so obviously you're going to play it or find it some way, shape, or form. But so that's enough of, we can go into part twos and everything like that. I did have some quick hitters, but I think we're hitting some time.
I think we're up against it here. But that was very informative.
Hey, I felt very I felt you were very insightful with your research, and I feel that we helped y'all listen to some good topics today about some good people and the game of golf.
Yeah, not as much wisecracking today.
No, but we were thinking that it wasn't going to be like that. So let's hit our last two. I'm gonna go into champion golfer of the week.
The champion golfer of the week.
This fellow goes by the name of Austin Claggett.
Austin Claggett.
Okay. He is just your regular everyday golfer, but Austin is actually he is probably one of my favorite golfers right now, because he hit a hole-in-one during a charity outing that was giving away a F-150. Austin had people witness it. There was, the tent. We've all played them. There's a tent behind. You throw your $10 in, or you throw your $25 in. This was actually, you just got the entry by paying the $375 to the tournament, and it was donated by a local dealership to one of the oldest Arkansas country clubs around. And he hit his hole-in-one, got to his car, everything like that. And finished
twist
it.
Here.
There is a twist.
Oh, geez.
Went to the dealership the next day, and they refused. They refused him. They would not give him the car, and they said for reasons that that car was not supposed to be sold at that specific time, so they couldn't get insurance information, all sorts of it. Gave him the whole 9 yards, and Austin is suing them for this. Only for the price of the car. No other damages. He just wants the car. And I think he is my champion golfer of the week because he should be getting what he deserves.
We need
And
to follow
Austin,
up. We need a follow up on this.
I
one.
think I will. But Austin, congratulations on your hole-in-one, most of all. And let's get you a damn car. How about that?
This guy, yeah, they're just trying to use some bullshit loopholes to
Unbelievable.
not give away a car.
Like,
Probably here.
how could you not?
Well, maybe they botched it up. They botched up all that paperwork. Somebody in the office.
I mean, there's a lot of paperwork.
Somebody in the
I
office
bought a new car recently. There is a lot of
there's
paperwork for it, but come on.
Somebody in the office was busy trying to slang those 18% financing rates and forgot to fill out this paperwork.
Well,
instead.
somebody didn't do the research on the approximate, like odds of hitting hole in one on, like, come on. How many golfers are there? Yeah.
I almost won one of those once.
Did you?
I had one tracking, like to the point where the group, the boys in the group came up, like it's flying, and they all come up behind me like, oh my God, dude. Oh my God. Oh my God. I mean, it probably was 3 inches from going in for maybe an F-150. I was already going to sell that thing while the ball was in the air to pay bills. Like the ball was halfway there in the air, and I'm like, oh man, I will sell this truck. Yeah.
Where do I sign to get you to buy it for 30 grand?
Yeah, exactly. I was going to sell that truck. I think I already searched what its value was, so I could sell it for like 20% less than that. Yeah.
Oh,
Nonetheless, I did not win it and
Okay.
did not claim those earnings. So I hope Austin gets one for the whole.
I really do. Hope he gets it for
luck,
for
bro.
the grouping.
Well, I think we got one more little piece today
Okay.
for you guys, and you know what it is. The kids love a little bit of on this day,
Yeah.
don't they?
Yes, they definitely do.
So golf is really weird in the fall. Like your on this days are all over the place. But thankfully, they played the Open Championship in October, back in the way back heyday. So nothing fancy here for you today, but pretty cool. 1860, October 17th, 1860, the first ever Open Championship.
Okay.
This
All right.
again, since we reference this so frequently, some people call it the British Open, some people call it the Open. Call it whatever you want.
Yeah.
That's fine. Got a spider just coming right down. I think that's the same guy from last week who tried to take my head off.
Yeah, I hope he comes right into
So
view.
first Open Championship ever held, Prestwick Golf Club. You've heard of Prestwick, right? It's still around today. They're still playing golf there today.
Oh, the one in Illinois?
No, not quite. It was won by the great Willie Park Sr. If you don't know, look up Willie Park Sr. someday. He was like a golfing icon of the time, dueling with Tom Morris. Willie and his brother Mungo were just a couple of savages out there. These guys were just rowdy bunch, caused a lot of problems, talked a lot of shit.
I think I have a new nickname for somebody.
Yeah.
Mungo.
Yeah. I don't even know where that comes from, but yeah. So Willie won the first Open Championship at Prestwick. So Prestwick was 12 holes then. You went around 3 times, so it was 36 holes. He shot 174. So 36 holes, 174. He's throwing up like a, what is that? Something like 88.
Yeah.
87.
Yeah.
Throwing up a couple 87s,
Yeah.
but that, that was wood clubs, a ball stuffed with feathers, a leather sack stuffed with feathers on a course that wasn't really probably conditioned perfectly. Those greens were probably running at like a 4.
Yeah.
So much respect to Willie. This was the first one. There were 8 golfers. You had Tom Morris, old Tom Morris. You had Willie Park Sr. You had a couple other guys, Charlie Hunter, who's very well known, Andrew Strath, another very important St. Andrews golfer.
Man, you're losing me here.
That's
But,
okay.
okay.
I'm coming back. No worries.
Yeah.
So won the challenge belt. Challenge belt was ready to go.
Oh, love those belts.
So yeah, big ups to Mr. Park on the big win. He'll always be the first. You can never ever take that away from him, and that, my
Correct.
friends, is on this day.
All right. Well, good finish. Strong finish. We appreciate you y'all being here with us.
By the way, I
I
got
appreciate
cut
you.
off. I got the wrap it up. I got the wrap it up button. When
You were
he-
starting to give names
told
that
us
you know.
you told a story about video games for 42 minutes, and I
It
got
was
cut
not
off after
42
38
minutes.
seconds.
Hey, we'll go back and we'll count.
check the
who,
tape.
Who did what?
Check
who
the
did
tape.
what?
Check the tape.
You're throwing red flags on that.
Check the tape.
That's actually relevant to today's day. You were giving names that have been in the grave for about 140 years.
Yes.
So
Hey, if
there we go.
People want to
Hey,
learn a little bit about what happened in.
you know what? That was the
Wayback
purpose
Machine.
of this show. So I apologize. We
know,
were trying to educate. We were trying to be great.
Why don't you
and-
try that send off again? You botched it. Why don't you try that send off again?
What?
You were gonna send it. You were kind of sending us off there.
Oh, I was just gonna say, we appreciate you Beef for being here. We appreciate all the information. We appreciate you, Beef. We appreciate you for all the information you gave us here today. I wish you guys could see this terrific logo that Scott actually put together for
garbage.
this
It's garbage,
for
but
this Yogs and Bogues
next time.
podcast. But next time around, we'll see you with some better content and some more dueling. I think.
equal content quality, but yes, more dueling.
Yeah. Okay, I'm with you.
Okay.
Maybe a part 2 on the
Yeah.
where they've been.
Yeah, we'll definitely hit
Actually,
you up and
stay
up with a
tuned
part two.
because we're gonna do something special for Halloween for y'all. Maybe a little something
Ooh,
spooky.
something scary.
Yeah,
I
I like
like
it.
I like it.
All right.
All right, bro. We'll see you next time.